food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Investigate. Pilgrimage.
More about the pilgrimage.
Excuse me, guys.
When people reach maturity, we leave our birthplace and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden.
What's everyone up to today?
So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage.
How's your days going?
Leaving the flotilla and
Chillin'?
their families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Sounds dangerous. Do they always accept?
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile. Let's change the topic. Sounds dangerous. Right.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease.
Implants.
Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most.
Does sound interesting.
The fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage.
Suffer with the flu then,
It's a
Tolly.
rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
Virtually even pilgrimage ends with triumph return. Okay, right. We've already done the always accept. I'm sound dangerous, so let's change topic.
About something else.
Like what?
Tell me
Warren.
about your people.
Our lives
About
are
yourself.
Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
Like what?
Kind of freaks.
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too
Only allowed one child per family.
resources to their breaking point.
Not very nice.
Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
Conclave.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
You're democratic.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials.
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily
Polly's
lives.
helmet's cool, guys,
In
isn't it?
theory, we are still under military
She
jurisdiction.
looks like a guardian at a
The
Destiny.
5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
Not bad.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I
The
can't
Geth.
tell you anything you don't
Everybody
already
hits
know.
the Geth.
It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins, what they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Waving finger, man. How are you? Welcome back. How's your day going? G Gamer, welcome to the stream, mate. How are you? How's the day going for you guys? Tell me.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
Over time, we made small modifications to their program to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bring them closer and closer to true AI status. Isn't AI research legal?
How come the council didn't step in
So
and
you're
stop
right.
you?
Could be legal.
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
The neural network.
So, the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
So
A hive mind?
consciousness.
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
I don't get it. Or why do they turn on you, huh? Should I do, guys?
What made them
Yes.
rebel?
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
What happened
did they
next?
do?
What
It
happened
was
next?
inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
They defended themselves. It was your fault. What did you expect?
You can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. but they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exiled, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
They defended themselves. So you're right.
It's hard to feel sorry for you. Your ancestors tried to wipe out another species.
We made a mistake when we created... If we had... Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've
You
killed...
didn't give them a real good first
You
impression.
really think things would be any different if... They're the enemy. They want to destroy us. Not just the Quarians. All organic life. That's why they...
I should go.
See you later.
Maybe that didn't turn out as well as the one that they turned out, guys, huh?
Hey, Commander, you know
Engineer
that Quarian
Adams.
Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board.
She's
she'll
a
know more about
smart
our
little
engines than I do.
bitch.
She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for talent, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Fill me
Stealth
in on
system.
the IES stealth systems. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
So we're invisible.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Why doesn't it work with faster than light travel?
Cranking up the FTL
Faster than light travel, guys.
pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight. But for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing. And we've got the only one.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on. Probably the fastest
The drive
vessel
core.
ever designed.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Where else have you served?
You
Adam?
name a class. My last assignment was on the Tokyo. Only a cruise.
Carry on, Adam.
Goodbye, Adam. Get out of here. Wait, what? Who's that? Garrus? What's he doing over there? The Aris locker.
Commander, you have a minute to talk.
I keep an open door policy. If you have any
Maybe she
concerns,
could
lay
be the
them
one
on.
that won for him.
All right. I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but I'm concerned about the aliens, Vicarian and Rex. With all due respect, Commander, should they have full access to the ship?
They may not serve the Alliance, Chief, but they're allies. At least as far as Sarah goes.
This is the most advanced ship in the Alliance Navy. I think we should give them free rein to poke around the vital systems. Engines, sensors, weapons.